everyone, I'm Denise Love, and I thought today I'd play in these Masha Watercolors that I showed in an art haul. And I work ahead in my videos, but I publish the art hauls pretty fast because they get the monthly box with those, and I go ahead and publish those usually in the week that I get the boxes so that they're current and relevant. But the other videos, like me creating projects and stuff, I kind of work ahead on those. So you might not see some of these videos right after I make them because they go in the queue. And so I'm making this video right after I did that haul video, and it's going to be in the line a little later. So I apologize that these fall a little bit later, but I like to work ahead because then on some weeks that I'm not really feeling it or I'm tired, I have videos just automatically out there posting. And I love it. I like to work ahead. I like to batch work. I like to just kind of work when things inspire me. And if you work ahead, you can do that. You don't have to create and work on days that you're just exhausted. And that's kind of why I like working for myself, because let me tell you, if you were exhausted or not feeling good or sick, or you're like, oh, can I just sleep in a little bit more today at the regular job? You couldn't do that. And now I'm just like, I can do whatever I want whenever I want to. So I'm working with this lovely Masha Watercolor set. I think it was the essential colors that are included in this super yummy little palette. And I'm just going to create some little abstracts today because I think these are beautiful and I just want to play in these colors. And I thought maybe, you know, not doing a color palette challenge here per se, using the color cubes. We might definitely pull this out for one of those. But maybe we'll just go along the cools and the warms and just create some lovely little abstracts out of these, just as a way to play and experiment in these lovely colors. And I do have a list with the names, but it's over there on a different table. So I'm not sure what colors in this little set that I'm using are. But I will link the Etsy shop down below the video for you because these are such beautiful colors. I mean, I have liked these so much. They've got a beautiful transparency about them. I'm a little heavier handed with watercolors, so I like them to be more vivid and strong, and you can get more vivid with these also, and so they're just a lovely set of colors. So I will link, and you can look at her Etsy shop below. These are just such beautiful colors. I love them. And I'm just playing. I'm just kind of adding color and seeing, you know, what can we get today. It's more of an intuitive painting day with these watercolors. But look how beautiful they are. This blue-green, really lovely. This warmer shades over here, beautiful too. And I'm just adding in some more color as I go, and then I'm going to top them off with mark making and just see what do we get for today. All right, so I'm really loving this. These also, I noticed when I go back and add some water to some areas that have started to dry, they bloom out really pretty. So let's go back in here while we're painting and maybe add in some texture. It works best when they're not sopping wet, when they're more of starting to dry, but not, the paper's not sopping wet. Once it dries, then you don't get the blooming out. You get very solid shape. Like you can add in brush marks and it'll keep that shape. So that's cool too. Just kind of depends on what you're thinking and wanting. But these areas that are super wet, that's just gonna make them blend a little more. It's not gonna really bloom out as pretty with the different texture. All right, so I'm gonna let these dry and I'll be right back. These have dried, and I don't know if it's coming through on the camera or not, but these have such a lovely complexity to the color and how it separates out into some other colors. Like this one here has got like some brownish taupey colors separating out of the pinks. Lovely. This, all kinds of yumminess going on in these colors, and I really love the complexity that we're seeing in the color as we look into it, especially where I added the extra water and got the pretty blooms. Amazing. So what I'm going to do now is make on top of these. I'm not even worried about, say, like messing them up, because you know me, I like to experiment, and the more things like this that you do, the more experimenting that you do, the less afraid that you get. And you get you just start to get braver, and you start thinking, okay, what else can I do that I wouldn't normally do? And I'm definitely feeling white dots. So even though I'm feeling brave, and I'm just going to attack these really lovely blotches of color, doesn't mean that I'm going to stray too far off of some of my own favorite mark making. I mean, that might have been slightly wet right there. Watch where you put your hands, Denise. Let's get out our paint stick so I can not put my hand down on wet watercolor, just in case all the spots aren't completely dry. It's really good when you do stuff like this, if you can make a bunch of these and let them dry, just walk away. Like, go watch TV, you know, do your work in stages. This is so pretty right there. Oh, I love that. But yeah, like, walk away. Don't do like me. But I'm filming, so I do have a goal to actually finish that video that I'm making in the same day that I started it. Mostly because with the editing, I tend to remember mistakes the same day, but if I were going back and editing like the next day, I just don't remember where I flubbed up and where I might want to edit out. And I do edit kind of fast, so if you randomly have mistakes pop up in the pieces, I apologize. I try. But if I go ahead and edit the same day and maybe pause while I'm filming to kind of point out to myself, hey, here's where you blubbed up, it makes it easier to edit. But if I come back the next day or a week later or what have you, I'm just not even going to remember what I did that day. What did I talk about? What did I paint? You know, the funny thing is, because I told you a little earlier, I work ahead. A lot of you guys, I just randomly chat sometimes about whatever is on my mind as I'm painting and talking onto the video. And then maybe this video comes out 3 weeks later, and then you guys are like talking to me about whatever I chatted about, and I think, what did I say in this video? Or I'll listen back and I'll be like, did I really say that on film? It's crazy. I know, I'm crazy. I love it. Just own it. Okay, so that was pretty excellent. I'm going to use some of these Jack Richeson's pastels because I'm currently obsessed with them. They're so beautiful. Let's just grab some colors. Look at that. Whoa, that is a color! And I've got my microfiber cloth over here. So when you're working with pastels, you really need one of these cloths. It's a cleaning cloth. You get them over there in the cleaning products at the grocery store or wherever, and they're amazing for getting pastel off your fingers and powders off your fingers as you're working, so you don't have to like stop and go wash your hands every few minutes. You can just get that powder with this. And you know, I love doing stuff that looks like samplers. You know, those totem poles totally looks like little samplers. The blob abstracts totally look like little samplers, and so pieces like this make it really easy for you to get outside of your comfort zone and to do some things with some supplies that you might not have ever thought to pick up and play with before. Let me pull these pastels closer so I can see what we got going on here. I'm kind of thinking this yummy dark color, if I can get these out. Oh yeah, look at that color. Oh, this color is yummy. All right, I'm gonna do my little yummy. And you know, the marks that I make, these may not be the marks that you make. You figure out by play, this is play to me, you figure out what you love and do what you love, and I will continue to play and experiment. So with pastels, resist blowing these all over the place. Because you'll make a mess of your workspace and you'll contaminate future pieces of art as you're going. But you kind of figure out what it is that you like, and I'm going to do the same. And then whatever that is that you like, do more of that. And if you see me do something on here and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't really love that. Now see, I've already tested it out for you and you don't have to do it on your piece. How about that? And a lot of times too, to kind of get past that, oh no, I don't want to mess it up paralysis, pick something up and then just attack the paper somewhere. And then, you know what, you did it. It's no going back. Now you're like, okay, I'm committed. So I want you to try that. You know, if you're like, oh no, where do I do this? Just attack that piece of paper. And if you get really upset and scared, like you don't want to mess it up because you love it so much, put it to the side until you later in life feel comfortable going back to the piece of paper that you loved. You know, you don't have to finish all your pieces of art today. So I tap it off onto some towel and then I can move it out of my way. But, you know, if you are afraid to mess it up, set it to the side, start another piece. You don't have to finish all your pieces today. Look at this color. What do I want to do here? I don't know. Do I want more dots? I don't know, what do I want? I kind of want some shape in there, maybe some line. I do like lines. And I don't have any lines in here right now, so let's just go ahead and do it. See, and you might think, oh no, not the line. But I like random scribbly lines. And so that to me was like, okay, yes, I liked that. And then if you think, oh gosh, that was a mistake, put it in a couple more places so that it looked like you did it on purpose. And then it's not a mistake. I do love this color here. And like I said, these are just a little sturdier than the Sennelier, but I would put them right up there with the Sennelier in like a quality. Like these feel really yummy. Very pigmented. This color is just insane. I like the range of colors. Ooh, so that's pretty. Pretty! Okay, these are fun. Let's see, what else do we got over here? Kind of like this orangey yellow. Why not? Let's just do it. Oh yeah, look how pretty that is. That's pretty. See, that kind of kept its shape, and with the Sennelier, that would have crumbled up pretty good for me. But I like that. That's pretty. Let's put some other color. Let's put this color somewhere else. Definitely feeling the pink-orange palette today. Super lovely. Let's just do some overlapping here with the other. Ooh, so lovely. And then we could kind of finish up with some black marking if we want, or some white marking, black or white. We could come back with some of either. This is my Archer in Olive acrylograph pen. So I think I'm going to do some mark making with the black. I am drawing over pastels, which most of the pens get angry about because it picks up that powder. But with these, you can kind of make the ink come back out. with the little pump action, but you gotta, might be wise, if I had thought about this early on, we could have done, okay, now it's really angry. We could have done the pen marking before we got to the pastels. That would have been a good choice. So this is a good lesson too, doing stuff like this. Really good lesson in layering. Like what is going to work best to layer first. And you know, you might not realize that going over top of pastels is going to make your pen angry until you actually do it. So now I can save you that. And it takes a minute for the pen to kind of start back up. But that's kind of an interesting observation, and you know, something that you can learn as you're going. You know, what are you trying to draw on top of? Like, you can't really draw on top of oil pastel with anything. These are soft pastels, so they're basically like powder, so they just clog the tip of everything. But you can't really go over oil pastels with anything. So oil pastel, I would definitely want to use those at the end. Soft pastels like this, I definitely might consider doing pen work before soft pastel work. But you know, as I'm doing stuff intuitively and I'm thinking, ooh, wouldn't that be fun with, you know, this or that or whatever, sometimes you don't think of that until you're in the moment creating. And at that point, then you just have to discover, oh, that was a bad layering, that choice with the pastels underneath. But so I think these are good learning moments, and I don't shy away from them, and I don't edit them out, because I want you to learn with me what these moments are. Okay, now I'm happy with this. If you're doing these and you're like, I don't know if it's done yet, I'm not happy with it yet, I'm not sure where I want to go with it, then you probably don't have enough layers. So, you know, set it to the side and think about it. But you'll get to the point where you're like, okay, now I'm happy with this. Okay, so weirdly enough, I'm kind of thinking maybe I want some flower. This is that flower, Crafter's Workshop flower one. Maybe I want a few white flowers kind of coming in here. And then if it don't work, it don't work. It's not a big deal. It's just paint. It's just paper. If this one doesn't work, paint another one. It's not a big deal, and try different things. That's my Liquitex heavy bodied titanium white that I'm using. I think that's my favorite white. I've decided after all the testing and playing, I think that's my favorite white. But I kind of want some little flowers coming in up here. And yep, that pastel is going to be under this paint, but hopefully dabbing that paint on top like I'm dabbing will allow this to sit on top of that pastel without it contaminating the white too much. All right, let's just see. Okay, that's good. I like that. Kind of brings the white underneath back, and it allowed me to go on top of the pastel without it really doing too bad. So, love that. Okay, yes. Okay, I like that. I will link the stencils underneath if I can find it again. Okay, so now I kind of feel like this needs one more something. What does it need? I need a vote there. Tell me what you think it needs. What about some of this pink Posca? Like maybe, I don't know, let's see. Just some extra whatever's out here. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, I think these are good. These are good. You can keep on adding until you think you're done. You can set it to the side and think about it for a while. I got some cloth here. These have pastel on it, so I'll definitely be hitting that with the Sennelier Soft Pastel Fixative. And we just do the best we can. And then I store these in clear art sleeves. Sometimes I'll put a piece of butcher paper, the wax paper on top if I want. But I'll store these in clear sleeves because I keep the art that I make because I make classes and videos. I might need them for samples and examples and photos and all kinds of stuff. So I do have some powder kind of down here on the sheet, and I have these little kneaded erasers these art erasers that I use to kind of clean up powder and stuff. If it's watercolor that got out there, it might not help. But with powder, we can kind of come back and maybe clean that powder off and clean that piece of paper up. And I'm working on cotton paper, and this is one of the things I love about cotton paper, is that you have, see, that got that little line right off of there. You have that ability to kind of clean up some things on the paper so that it's clean. And haha, look at that, totally cleaned it right up. Okay, I'm loving that. And I know there's going to be those people out there going, where's the gold? Because you know we love gold. I could come back and put gold on that one. And I'm kind of happy with it like it is. Sometimes it's a no gold is okay day. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed painting with me today. I'll link everything below the video, and I'll see you next time.